I'm so excited to introduce our last speaker for the night. Alysun Ogilby is a mom that I got to meet a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago at this point, I can't really remember. We met after work one day over pizza, and she really just told me kind of about her family, Team Ogilby, her and her kids. She has one daughter and two twin boys who will be going to kindergarten in the fall, who will be ready to go because of her experience putting them in preschool. So I'm excited for you to hear her story. Alysun.
Good evening. My name is Alysun Ogilby. I'm a mom, and I'd never heard of Cincinnati Preschool Promise until I needed them the most, and now they will forever be a part of my story. I laid my head back on the cold gray vinyl and fixed my eyes on the TV screen. An ultrasound to confirm my due date. We both gasped. There, clear as day, was not one head, but two. I cried for 15 minutes. It was a surprise that would change every course that I thought I was on. We were now parents of 3 children. Who could have expected this? My husband and I decided I would quit my job after the twins were born. I was working as a sign language interpreter in the Three Rivers School District and loved almost every minute of it. However, I didn't make enough money to pay for 3 kids in childcare. Soon, more life-altering news. My husband and I separated. Who could have expected that? I would need to return to the workforce. I tried to work different flexible jobs so I could make some income while working my full-time job of parenting my 3 young children, keeping them home with me. I know a lot of mothers who have to do this, but that was not what I expected. As you can imagine, the constant juggling and piecing together of 5 different sources of income while keeping my family intact took a toll on me. My health was going downhill. Friends, family, and even people I worked with were telling me I needed rest. I knew it was true, but I felt like I was in a ditch with no way out except to keep digging. I felt as if I heard God ask me to quit all of my jobs. I thought that was absolutely crazy, and I told God no. I could do both. I needed to do both. I could do it all. My health continued to deteriorate, so I emailed women in my life that I knew would tell me the truth, as hard as it may be. Each one emailed separately and said they believed I was hearing correctly. I could not do it all on my own, but God had a promise for me. The next few months were hard. I quit my jobs one by one, terrified of what my family or others might think. However, during my daughter's spring break, my mom kept the kids overnight to give me some rest. I woke up unable to move and in serious pain. I knew it was time to get help. The stress had finally taken its toll. My doctor started doing tests and realized I was severely anemic and had a gallbladder that was no longer working. At that point, I felt my lowest. I had no money. I was in poor health. I had no new direction. In July, my friend sent me a message that she saw Kennedy Heights Montessori was hiring. The idea that I could take my twins with me to work each day sounded amazing. I called and there was no room for the twins, and the hours of the job would be 9 to 6. But this gave me an idea. On a whim, I decided to email my daughter's principal at Pleasant Ridge Montessori to see if they had any openings, and they did. And they wanted to hire me. The hours were perfect, but still I needed childcare for my boys. My friend had told me about vouchers and had mentioned she had heard something about Preschool Promise. I called Kennedy Heights and they gave me papers about Preschool Promise and told me they would cover what vouchers wouldn't. So I started the research for vouchers through Jobs and Family Services, or JFS, navigating my way through a tricky system. At the beginning of August, I started the process. However, on the JFS website, there were only a few 4- to 5-star facilities. Anything that might be available was not, in my good conscience, a place I could send my twins. I remember distinctly getting in the shower after calling those 4- and 5-star daycares on the JFS website. I needed a good, uninterrupted cry. How did I get here? Would I have to quit my job before I even started? Who would give them the same kind of care that I did? And as I sobbed, I heard an almost audible voice. Preschool Promise is your answer. I knew it wasn't my thoughts. I knew nothing about Preschool Promise. All I knew was that I had to do vouchers first, and Preschool Promise would cover the extra payments. I got out of the shower and went to the website. There, I found a much longer list of providers. I found 2 5-star YMCA locations that had 2 spots. I visited both of them the week before I started work. The second location was home immediately. The staff, the center, the location, I cannot say enough wonderful things about Duck Creek YMCA. I knew I had found the perfect place for my boys. A month after the boys were enrolled in this perfect 5-star childcare at the Y, a mix-up in paperwork at no fault of my own put me on the hook for a full amount for that month's tuition. The vouchers had been denied. JFS told me I would have to reapply and that I would be responsible for paying the month that the twins had been at the center. I burst into tears. The woman responded, "Have a nice night," and hung up the phone. I calmed myself down and called Valerie at Preschool Promise. She reassured me that they would start paying full price for the boys' school until the vouchers were worked out. She was kind to me. The next day, she called me again. She said, "You know, I got home last night and I was thinking about your case and thought you might be worried that you would have to pay for this past month that they've been in school. So I wanted to reassure you that we'll cover that too. This program is made for people like you. I didn't want you to spend the weekend worrying about how you would pay." I started to cry again. I'm really good at crying. She thought about me at home. She called me back to ease my fears. That isn't me being a number or a burden. That is someone who actually cares. It is easy, almost natural, to allow poverty to become an identity we put on. I have been looked at with disrespect, judgment, and apathy, mostly by myself. It is simple for me to wake up each day and kick myself for the choices that brought me to a place of needing help, even if they were unexpected. However, I've learned the easy road isn't the one that I want to take. Poverty doesn't define me. Poverty is not who I am. Poverty is the situation I have found myself in. And it's people like Valerie and Mary and the team at Preschool Promise who stand beside us and give us a hand up, not a handout. It's them who look at us like people who have fallen onto a hard time and need support to keep going in the right direction. It's people like them who will help so many get where they need to be, not only with the financial support, but with the belief that everyone matters. It's what they do, it's what they promise, and that's what you can expect. Thank you all.